be just like that. I think it's going to be just as exciting as that game was a couple of years ago. The Deerfield Mount Carmel game we did.
Quite a contest. Remember a couple of hat tricks scored by the Caravans, Manning and Casper, if I got the names right.
Casper, yeah. Gary Casper.
Gary Casper and Manning.
And I think, didn't Woodward have a hat trick too, or he had two?
Woodward had a couple, and I believe
Olivan had one, but anyway, that's in the past. Let's talk about tonight. These are the two teams that will be advancing out of the Metro North to play. We have a question as to which team will be number 1 and which team will be number 2 coming out, but this is a battle for the playoff spots for 1 and 2. These two teams, though, will come out and play in the divisionals. In regular season, these teams came out with a record of 1 win for Loyola and 1 tie. Last time they played 4-4. Ready to get underway. Dropping the draw. Van Scoy dumps it in. Shot a goal! Oh, man, right from the face-off. Mike Van Scoy with a slapper at 4 seconds into the game. Right by Matt Neiman.
Good morning, folks. Van Scoy just kind of took the draw. After the Lake Forest Center won the draw, I wasn't even settled into my seat yet. Van Scoy just outside the line put one on goal in 5 holes. It's 1-1. Ouch.
Just that quick, and believe it or not, just that quick, they made a line change.
I think they're tired. 4 seconds. Wow.
LeVar will face off now against Scott Dean with, is that a change of lines again. Scott Dean over here on the near side. Pat Plunkett. Plunkett dumps it along the near side boards. Ran into traffic. Scott Dean swept it back down into the late Loyola end. Plunkett up ahead. Busted up by Royster. Up ahead for Peterson, who dumped it into the zone. Right back out by Laxgang. Royster backhand over here to the near side. Peterson. Scott Dean. Dean takes a hit. Plunkett went down. The puck squirts into the Loyola zone. Back out all the way down. And they're going to wash off the icing over to the far side. Sean Brown. Now out to Turner, and dumped and cleared out. Back down into Loyola and Plunkett. LeVar got tied up by Scott Dean. LeVar, or Laxgang, controls on the near side. Sean Brown at the blue line, dumped it to the far side boards. And I think Lake Forest and Loyola are a little surprised at the intensity coming right out after the initial start of the play here. On the near side, now up ahead, dumped and cleared out to center ice, all the way down, deflected out in front, it won't be icing. Brian Cooper bumped by Halecki. Over here to the near side, Leahy. Berrettini had it briefly. Berrettini out to the point. They shot, ran into traffic, ran into Fitzpatrick out front. Now busted away by Leahy. Leahy ahead to Whittakin. Whittakin dumps it into the Lake Forest end. Fouts left it over there for Lauritsen. Now back to the corner, the short shot by LeVar, and now dumped and cleared out of there and all the way down. It looks to me like it's I goof up on the line. Well, I goofed up on that line. It wasn't LeVar that dumped it out. Now Halecki brings it in over to the far side. Shot, oh, boomed it. Just flicked it a little wide. Berrettini did. I goofed up on our names here. I think that. There's a shot, a goal! Halecki from the left wing.
Halecki took the cross-ice feed. I didn't see who gave it to him, but he made no mistake. Took his time as he caught the pass, took a look, and then buried it. Loyola and Lake Forest both skating with good pace, good intensity in this game, but I don't know that Loyola's quite ready. Lake Forest is all over him.
I think it was Berrettini that fed it across. I think it was Ezio Berrettini. I'm not really sure on that, so don't quote me, but I think that's who it was. 11:53, and Lake Forest surprising Loyola all over them.
Loyola even has a shot on goal yet.
I think what's also interesting on this particular game, last time these teams played, they stocked the line a little bit. Lake Forest did. This time they seem to be playing with their standard lines, and the lines are connecting early on. Back behind the net, Jasper. Jasper busted up by Rappel. Rappel looking to center it. Couldn't do so. Now it's squirted out of there. Here comes Jasper up the ice. Chris Jasper playing with a bum shoulder today. Rappel dumped into the zone. The long shot. Fouts with the save. Gustafson to the far side. Up ahead and overled now, picked away by John LeVar. Offside. O'Malley hadn't cleared the zone. Sean O'Malley was still in the zone, and LeVar caught with the offside. Well, I'll tell you something. I saw Loyola last Wednesday night in their game against Glenbrook North, one of our other Metro North games, and they seemed flat. They just seemed like they were very flat. They came away with a surprise winner against Glenbrook North, winning it with 51 seconds left in the game. But tonight, I don't think Loyola is really ready. They're perfectly content to just come out of the playoffs. And I think Lake Forest has a lot of intensity. They said they wanted to come out and they wanted to win this one. And they beat Loyola back in the Loyola tournament. And it appears here tonight again, Mike, that they're showing that intensity that they want to win it.
Well, Loyola's going to have to turn it up a notch if they intend to come out on the winning end of this score. Lake Forest just putting their nose to the grindstone and going at it with Loyola. They don't seem afraid to go to the corners with them or anything.
Cooper right out in front. Scott Dean will go to the corner with Cooper. I'll get back to you, Mike. Wait. You know me. Once the play goes, I go. Here's LeVar. 2-on-1 break. LeVar turns the corner. Shot. Goal! John LeVar with a little flick backhander. 2-on-1 break. Royster didn't control him around the corner. Let him get around.
Well, LeVar made that play there. He got, with his speed, opened up the 2-on-1. And as he cut around the defenseman, just put his head down and burned around him. But as he went to cut to the net, he dipped his shoulder. And that threw Fouts for a loop as he was expecting the pass. And once he split the legs open, all LeVar had to do was drop a soft backhander into the back of the net. 2-1 now, Lake Forest.
Fitzpatrick dumps it into the zone, back behind the net. Fouts nearly dumped it out in front by mistake. Berrettini with Leahy. Now in the corner, Whittakin busted away. Leahy, the short shot through the slot to the far side. And they battle for it over there. Picked away by Whittakin. Jason Whittakin looking for Leahy. Couldn't find him through the traffic. Now back behind the net again. Fouts left it there. Leahy picked it up. Mike Leahy tried to center it. Did so. Flicked into the slot. Leahy tried for a weak little backhander through traffic. And it kind of sits there in the slot. Out to the point, Mike Fitzpatrick. To the far side. Halecki dumps it out to center ice. Whittakin had to wait to get onside. Now over here to the near side is Ezio Berrettini. Berrettini with the long shot, the save by Meehan. Fitzpatrick overskated a little bit. Now Mike Fitzpatrick picks it up again. Deep in his zone, Halecki. Now Berrettini into Vanskoy. Short shot, the save by Neiman. I think that would have been wide anyway to the near side. Actually going up on the net. Dumped and cleared out to center ice. This is Chris Jasper. Jasper got up to the red line, and then the dump shot was busted up. Now swept into the zone by Vanskoy. Over here the near side, Rappel. Busted up over here. Now dumped and cleared out to center ice. Jasper to the far side. Fitzpatrick fed ahead and all the way down now into the Lake Forest end. Gustafson. Mike Gustafson dumps it to the near side and out to the point. Here comes the Lake Forest Scouts again. Double teamed over here on the near side. Scott Dean and Dan Peterson went down. And back into the Lake Forest end. Gustafson to the far side. Up ahead for Scott Dean off his stick. Out to Todd Link at center ice. Link dumps it high in the air and back down into the Lake Forest end. Jiske. Mike Jiske brings it over to the far side. Grispo, and that was overled right back down into the zone. Well, Loyola now dumping it deep into the zone and trying to get something started. Here's Scott Dean. Scott Dean all by himself around the man. Scott Dean shot, the save by Meehan, and now Brown and Dean bump afterwards back behind the net. Scott Dean with a good, nice little wrist shot, but right into the pads of Matt Neiman.
Well, as Dean came around the defenseman at the blue line, just put his head down. Dean trying to burn the players with his speed. He also has that valuable asset in his size. And Scott Dean got around the defenseman and just below the hash marks, let go a quick wrist snapshot. And a little lower, and that would have been in. It looked to me like the goaltender for Loyola had a little bit of 5-hole exposed, and I think that's what Dean was heading for, but he got it up a little bit, and ended up being an easy save right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hit the near side, the glove side, and just got a little bit too much of it. Ready for the drop out to the slot. The slapper by Jasper ran into traffic out front. He beat New Trier earlier this year with a shot just like that, only got it away a little quicker. Back in the corner, out to the point, to the slot. Plunkett fanned on the puck. Now Halecki fell down to the corner. Dumped back into the corner there, back behind the net. Leahy right out in front. Out and cleared. Plunkett ran into traffic out front. Heavy check out at the blue line. Jason Whittakin right to the slot. And dumped and cleared all the way down. They'll wash off the icing. Back goes Eric Laritzen. Laritzen behind his own net. He'll set up the play. To the near side. Plunkett dumps it in to the zone. The long shot and the save by Fouts to the far side. Chris Jasper. Jasper shot it out of the zone, and Laxgang dumps it right back in. Delay offside, and now the Lake Forest Scouts dump and clear, and that's going to be icing against the Scouts.
Pat Plunkett had a good chance about a minute ago. Had the puck right between the rings and unable to pull the trigger. He had nothing but Brendan Fouts in front of him.
Yeah, out in the slot. Well, he had a bunch of players in front of him too.
Well, it looked from this angle when I just kind of glanced up there. The puck was kind of dancing around in front of him. Had he been able to control it and get a shot off, that's one of the highest percentage places on the ice, right in between the rings to shoot from.
You know what's funny, Mike? You're used to working out in that Central Division. A little unusual for you in a regular season game or even a playoff game to see a type of crowd like we got here tonight. Back behind the net. Loyola dumped and cleared out into the slot, busted away by the Lake Forest Scouts. Across the blue line, the long shot, Meehan missed it, but it was wide to the near side. Now up here to the point, and cleared out of there. Sean Brown. Brown tried to split the defense, dumped out of there by the Scouts. Out to the point, John LeVar and Scott Dean collided, and now Lake Forest brought it in. John Turner back behind the net. Mike Fitzpatrick, and he bumped Eric Bloom. And now LeVar in there. Busted away the short shot by Turner, the save by Meehan. Neiman, I got to keep that straight. Woo! Jasper at the blue line. Blum intended for Van Scoy, and he couldn't find the pass, didn't have his stick down in time. Dumped and cleared into the zone, and that's going to be icing against Loyola, and it is. 6:05 to play here in the first period.
You know, Mark, I have this idea that all Lake Forest is thinking right now is just getting the puck on net. After that opening goal by Van Scoy from just outside of 60 feet, Lake Forest is just trying to put anything on net, and rightfully so. That early goal could have shaken Matt Neiman up just enough to get him off his game.
Well, I think also Loyola has the players. I notice now they've changed that lineup again. I was telling you about stacking the line. They've done it. Dean, Van Scoy, and Berrettini. Obviously, I think Bob Hildreth is trying to finish off the Loyola Ramblers early. Scott Dean. Dean controls. Dean still controls. Brings it. Shot a goal! Scott Dean. Berrettini was screening Neiman. And the goal by Scott Dean.
Brilliant move by Dean. He got the puck on the far side, the top of the circle, and with a quick stick handling move, got away from the forecheck from Loyola, and then just had the presence of mind to walk through the slot, took a look, and as the goaltender Neiman was moving post to post and was screened and kind of down, Dean made no mistake as he put one top shelf. 3-1 Lake Forest, just under 6 minutes to play here, first period.
I think the one thing now that I would watch for is the amount of time that Lake Forest is playing this particular line out there.
That will be interesting to watch, considering the fact you've got three of the top scorers from the Metro North through the regular season on one line.
Dumped into the zone. The bouncing shot and the save by Fouts. Gustafson back behind the net. Now here come the Lake Forest Scouts. Dumped and cleared out of there. And we got a penalty coming up for holding on Loyola. And I think it is Steffo. Matt Steffo, I believe that is. That's one of the JV players they brought up after the schedule was all set, and I lost track of the names of them. I believe.
That penalty was called behind the play.
Yeah, that was.
May have just had a hold of somebody's stick, or
I think
I didn't even pick it up.
Yeah, I think what it was back behind the play. He had lost his stick, so to try and keep the puck in the zone, he grabbed hold of somebody back behind the play. Chris Jasper dumps it in. Jasper normally likes to take the shot, but with that bum flipper tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes much of a shot this evening. He'll probably dump it more into the corner. Cooper, he's bumped hard by Scott Dean. Gee, is that a surprise? Scott Dean comes up with it. Dean tries to bring it home. Dean controls. Scott Dean, short shot, saved by Meehan. Puck's free, swept out of there by Laxgang. Dumped and cleared out to center ice.
Boy, did Dean make a nice move in the corner as he got away from a checker and then took the quick shot. A nice pick set by Ezio Berrettini. And Dean got the quick shot, but Neiman made the quick save.
Well, I think in that case it was Cooper putting his head down too. You know, more intent on not getting hurt by putting his head down to avoid the check that he knew was coming from behind him. Scott Dean flicks it out to Berrettini, back to Scott Dean, to Van Scoy. Couldn't find it through the traffic. Berrettini, and he overskated it a little bit. And Neiman dumps down and kind of slides down and puts his glove on it.
Well, that was a brilliant defensive play there by number 26, John LeVar for Loyola. As Berrettini was getting ready to pull the trigger, LeVar put his stick in the path of Berrettini's stick, causing him to be unable to pull the trigger.
Yeah, he kind of lost his balance as he brought it into the slot there. Good pass in there by a bunch of the Lake Forest Scouts.
That stacked line you were talking about of Dean, Berrettini, and Van Scoy applying plenty of pressure on that power play.
Lauritzen back out to Scott Dean. Long shot, nice shot, and a nice save by Neiman. On the near side, Scott Dean waits and now dumps it into the zone. Neiman had to wait for his team to get onside. Lauritzen out to the point, and Chris Jasper, the long shot, the pad save. To the near side here, Van Scoy over to the far side. Jasper had retreated off that point in deep into the zone. Now Sean Brown dumps and clears out of there. Brown with John LeVar, Dean with John LeVar rather, Scott Dean. Pushed a little bit over here on the near side. And now Eric Lauritzen controls to the far side. Penalties over. Teams are back a full and equal strength over here to the near side and dumped into the Loyola zone right back out. Now here's Mike Fitzpatrick in his own zone. Mike Fitzpatrick across the blue line, dumped it to the far side. Royster, Ezio Berrettini out to the point, held in. There's the shot off the back of the backboards to the far side, right into the slot, busted out of there. Out to the high slot, turnaround shot by Lycano, ran into traffic out front. Cooper tried to keep it in the zone, now busted out of there. Here's Van Scoy, 2-on-1 break. Link touched him briefly, short angle shot in the save. Now right in front, and of some pushing and shoving, Todd Link up on top of, is that Turner? Yeah, John Turner. And I think Mr. Cooper's going to get a penalty for that one. Looks like it. Link, rather, going to get a penalty for interference. Todd Link, a minor for interference.
So that play was developing when Link took Turner right into the crease. And as the shot came, Neiman made the stop. And then Link continued to drive Turner into the goal. First knocking it off its moorings, then knocking Turner to the backside. Turner took exception, took a swing at him, but I don't think Dave Labuda, the referee, saw that.
Well, he sort of took a kick at him, actually.
Also, yeah, that was afterwards. I don't think Labuda wanted to see that either. Your comment earlier about the crowds, yes, you're right. I'm not surprised. This is what high school hockey should be. Plenty of crowds, lots of kids from the high school out to see their friends and their players representing their school. It's kind of exciting, actually.
Sean O'Malley dumps it down into the zone. Brendan Royster back there. Royster back behind the net to the far side. Bounced up, and Rappel dumped it right into Laxgang. Laxgang first attempt failed, and now here come the Lake Forest Scouts, 3-on-1. Turner back over to Peterson. Peterson missed it to the corner. And he and Fitzpatrick, now Turner joins in there. Turner bumped a little bit from behind by Rappel. Sean O'Malley dumps and clears out of there. And the Lake Forest Scouts have started up again. Jasper. Give it to Royster. Royster misplayed it back into his own zone. Deep into his own zone. Jiski. With the penalty killing, Loyola was content to let him do it. Here they come back up. Down Peterson goes. Loritzen to the corner, and now LeVar dumps it to Scott Dean at the blue line. Scott Dean bringing it up the ice. Dean fakes the shot. Dean into the high slot. Now he takes it. The shot, they save, dribbling, and now Neiman grabs it and holds it as it dribbled past him, started dribbling towards the goal.
Well, that forward line for Lake Forest on that power play had a hard time getting out of park to get it to drive.
Well, that's that second line. That's the problem when you stack one line, particularly for Lake Forest. You stack that one line. That second line
tends to suffer a bit.
Yeah, tends to suffer. And I don't know. I think I would prefer, even in the power plays, I'd rather keep my lines going. They were scoring early on. Let them stay where they were and just keep on working with those same lines over again. I mean, that would. I'm talking as a second guesser. Yeah. Yeah. Berrettini back out to Jasper. Back to Berrettini. I'm not saying the Bob's doing it wrong. Right in front, Lorenzo shot a goal! Off the pass by Scott Dean.
A beautiful goal there by the Lake Forest Scouts, and they are not going to stop tonight. Lake Forest.
Again, it's that line, and we were talking about don't put the line out there, and here they are.
Well, the tic-tac-toe passing play, Dean and Enzio Berrettini worked it into, I believe that was Loritzen, and Loritzen just a tap in, a couple feet outside the crease, an easy one, and now Lake Forest goes ahead by 3, up 4-1 with just over 1 minute to play in the first period.
Yeah, all set to go now, 4-1, and once again that second line out there. Or the modified line, perhaps. Fitzpatrick. Picked away by Lake Forest. Over here to the near side. Dumped in by Grispo. Cooper. And I think Loyola's a little shell-shocked here in this first period. Leahy. Here they come back out the ice. Long shot in by Steffel. Back behind the net. Over to the far side. Whittakin and Halecki. Down they go. There's the short shot. The whistle stops play. We got a penalty for interference coming up, I believe, on Halecki.
That's right, Mark.
Vic Halecki.
Halecki took the Loyola forward into the boards before the puck even made it around on the dump-in attempt by Fitzpatrick. And Dave Labuda rightfully calling that penalty with 40 seconds remaining here in the first period. Loyola will get a power play.
Oh, I take that back. I take that back. It's somebody on Loyola did that one.
Well, that shocked me. I thought the interference was going to be on Halecki.
I thought so too. You know, we were just talking about that because we saw it over there on the on the wall, and it must have been.
So we're behind the play.
It must have happened out in the slot out there. So we'll move the faceoff out to center ice.
And Lake Forest will get another power play with 40 seconds left. Excuse me. Well, I take that back. He didn't rightfully call that interference like I thought he did.
Well, maybe he did call it rightfully interference. It's just the wrong interference.
He called the wrong one.
Yeah, it was our fault, not his. He called the right one, you know. Yeah, it's gone out. Scott Dean booms it wide. Over for Leahy. Leahy dumps and clears out of there.
I'm sorry, Van Scoy, a nice drop pass. He set the table for Dean. He just couldn't hit the net with it.
here comes Scott Dean again. Right up the ice. Scott Dean tried to split the defense. Did so. Dumped it over to the far side. Berrettini couldn't get himself in there. Now dumped and cleared Whittick and didn't know where it was as he dumped it out. And that's the end of the period. At the end of the first period of play, the score: Lake Forest 4 and Loyola 1. We'll be back with the second period. Discussion here on that first period.
Excellent play by both teams. Both teams out to skate tonight, but I got a feeling Loyola may be feeling the effects of that first goal by Mike Van Scoy with 4 seconds gone in the period. That seemed to take a lot of wind out of the sails of Loyola.
Here's Van Scoy. They still have the power play. Scott Dean gave it over here to the near side. Berrettini out to the point. Back over to the far side. Scott Dean, no, he won't get to it. Lauritzen now back to Dean. Scott Dean gave it into Van Scoy. Oh, man, super passing going on out there. The shot ran into traffic out front. And now the Scouts control again. They still got 40 seconds on the minor. Right through the slot. Lauritzen back out to Dean. Scott Dean looks for Lauritzen in the corner. Dumped back behind the net. Lauritzen and Plunkett now picked away by Berrettini. Berrettini tried to center it. Couldn't do so. Out to the high slot. Jasper. Jasper got the shot away. And Rappel's stick deflected it all the way down into the Lake Forest end. Chris Jasper, last rush up the ice on the power play. Berrettini flicks it into the zone. Laxgang, Tom Laxgang brings it up. Laxgang dumps and clears. Swatted down by Van Scoy. Jasper to the far side. Jiski. Van Scoy into the Loyola end and dumped out of there. The long shot ran in, would have been a shot on goal, ran into the stick that was lost by Rappel a few minutes ago. Dumped and cleared out to center ice. Sean Brown missed it. Scott Dean now at center ice. Jiski had it briefly. Now picked away by Plunkett. Scott Dean just left it there for Jiski. Jiski over here to Turner. Turner into the zone offside.
That Lake Forest power play doing a very good job of working the point. A lot of times the puck is coming out high, and either Scott Dean is right there to fire it back into the zone or on net, or one of the other Lake Forest forwards is coming back to help out. The points are usually being left wide open, and Loyola may have to tighten up its defense, especially on the power play, if that's possible, considering the fact they're already down 1 man. But those points are wide open, and Lake Forest will sit back there and tee them up all day.
Now back to the action. Jiski in his own zone up to LeVar. LeVar will have to wait for the onside. Busted away from him by Turner. Brian Cooper at the red line. Dumps it into the Lake Forest end. Royster. Royster to Jiski. Jiski back over here to Royster. Brendan Royster had it flick under his stick. Now on the near side boards. Here come the Lake Forest Scouts. Up ahead for Turner. He couldn't control the pass. Jiski back to Cooper. He got hit from the side by Peterson. And Turner to Halecki. Halecki split the defense. Got a weak shot away. And the save by Matt Neiman.
Well, as they were pushing and shoving around the Loyola goal, Halecki did a nice job of splitting the defense, and the second defenseman for Loyola, I believe that was, I'm tempted to say Fitzpatrick, but I know that's wrong because he's coming out for a shift. But
Cooper.
Nonetheless, Halecki got through the two, and as Cooper stepped over, he took the man and forgot about the puck, and that's the kind of play a coach would like to see their defensemen do. Take the man, not let him get a shot on goal. And that way, Neiman had an easy time of stopping the fluttering puck as it just kind of feebly rolled on goal.
The drop, the draw, back out to the point. Jasper, the long shot, the pad save through traffic. Scott Dean. Dean. Give it back for Berrettini behind the net. Berrettini back out to the point, and Lauritzen had retreated in a little bit on the zone and wasn't out at the point. Now Lauritzen tried to feed it out of the zone, dumped back in by Wedekin. Jasper behind his own goal line on the near side. Tried to feed it over behind the net to the far side and eventually got there. Dean ahead for Van Scoy, busted up by the Loyola Ramblers. Lauritzen. Now Van Scoy, Mike Van Scoy over here to the near side. Ezio Berrettini. Berrettini and Fitzpatrick collide on the near side. And out to center ice comes the puck. Laritzin at the red line, dumps it in. Scott Dean had to tag up, and so did Ezio Berrettini. Meanwhile, Loyola dumps and clears all the way down. That's going to be icing against the Ramblers. And it is. 10:28 to play in the period.
Loyola is in dire need of a couple of quick goals. Not only is the team kind of out of it, but the crowd is out of it. Lake Forest has done an effective job of taking the Loyola contingent out of this game. The 4 goals they have is keeping the Loyola fans kind of sitting on their hands.
Well, the last time these two teams played, we went to a similar situation. It was 4-1 at the end of the second period. And Loyola came charging back in the third period, again, perhaps because of the line changes that were taking place.
Well, Loyola needs something. They need some sort of light at the end of the tunnel to get this team going again. Being down 3 goals, even though there's about just under 2 full periods of play left, they need to get a fire lit underneath them to get this team skating again.
Turner with Cooper to the near side. The short shot by Turner, the save by Neiman through traffic. Laxgang, and Tommy Laxgang dumps it in and ran it off player standing over there, Sean Brown. Yeah, ran it off Sean Brown, who was standing waiting to come on the line. And now he'll come on after the puck hit him as he was standing there in the bench.
Laxgang had a good head of steam. It's unfortunate that he didn't keep that one in the rink, because I got a feeling he would have charged right past anybody in a blue sweater to get to that loose puck.
Yeah, it looked like Jiski was a little frightened of it and pulled a good 5-10 feet away from him. Ready for the drop, the draw. Dumped in by Eric Blum. Now Peterson and Cooper, and now Blum, and the puck squirts free. LeVar. John LeVar up ahead here to the near side. Sean Brown. Brown dumps it into the zone, and now I notice Loyola's returned their old line. LeVar, I'll tell you that in a second here. The short shot just wide by Brown. Bothered just a little bit. Loicano ran it up against Labuda. The referee, Jiski, here on the near side. Jiski tried to feed it out. Laxgang, the big boomer. That one was broken up out front. Peterson over to Grispo. Grispo dumped it in. Yeah, I thought they'd make a line change. That Lake Forest would make a line change. That was a bad line matchup. I'll tell you about that in a second. Shot and goal! And now Peterson all over Neiman after the play. Did you see who got that one?
I believe it was Peterson. Peterson was standing in front of me.
Deflected it?
And it was a tip-in off the slap shot from the side of the ring.
From the near side?
On the far side. And I believe that came out of the stick of Dean. Nonetheless, it's in the net, and Neiman has been rattled for 5 goals here in the first half of the game. Peterson also had a running battle with one of the Loyola defensemen. I believe it was Link earlier in this period, and now
I'm not too surprised with that. No, what I was talking about before was that their early matchup that they had out there was that they had that second, or maybe it's even the Lake Forest third line up against the number 1 Loyola line. Loyola put that old line back up. LeVar with Brown, Sean Brown, and Mike Loicano. Scott Dean brought it in.
I'm sorry, those 3 kept constant pressure in the Lake Forest end. One of the best lines they've had on the ice all night.
Heavy check in there. Was that Scott Dean that rolled in there? Yeah. Now out to center ice. Jasper had to wait to get on side, offside. Scott Dean hadn't cleared the zone. He got tangled up in there with the defenseman. No, as I was saying, that it would be an interesting line matchup, but it looks like the two teams are deliberately avoiding putting those 2 lines on there together. The LeVar line with the stacked line, perhaps we might want to call that for Lake Forest.
Well, that stacked line of Dean, Van Scoy, and
Berrettini
is out there right now. And
yeah, but I'm surprised that he's not. I guess because he wants to have that second line out there when the Lake Forest second line's out. Jasper, rather than trying to match line for line.
Right.
Plunkett. Now Scott Dean. Scott Dean over to Berrettini. Berrettini, the shot, the save, the rebound. Oh, wide. Had an open net, and Scott Dean shot it wide. Plunkett out to center ice. Here's Loritzen dumps it in to lay offside. Back behind the net. The Loyola Ramblers a little shell-shocked here tonight. Up ahead, here comes Rappel. Rappel into the zone. We got a penalty coming up. We do on Jasper for hooking. Chris Jasper, a minor for hooking. Got a hold of Rappel. That was a little obvious.
There was no doubt about that one. Being an armchair referee myself and watching so much hockey, I'm learning all the line calls over again, or the penalty calls all over again. And the minute I saw the hook put on Rappel by Jasper, my arm immediately shot into the air.
Yeah, I saw you. You went jumping.
For a minute there, I thought I was wearing the stripes, but nonetheless, Loyola, I believe this is their first power play of the night.
It could well be, and what I find interesting is the line that he's putting out there to start it off.
Well, that's the LeVar Laxgang and.
Yeah, but look who I mean Lake Forest. Who Lake Forest put out there with that? Jiske. I mean, I'd expect that line out there for Loyola. Jiske hand pass over to LeVar. I got to tell you a new rule that they have now that you haven't seen yet. Over here on the near side. Jiske back behind the net. Loritzen picked up the shovel shot by LeVar. Now Fouts clamps it and holds it on the side, and LeVar pushing Jiske a couple of times against the net. Now the new rule that I was going to mention that you haven't seen is they're not allowed to freeze the puck along the boards anymore. You cannot freeze it along the boards. You have to keep the puck moving.
That's right. It's a new rule change. That's not unique to Metro North. That's new everywhere. That's a standardized rule. Throughout the Hockey USA rule book, puck must be kept in motion. I don't think you'd see that with these two teams anyways.
They're flying.
Considering the fact that Loyola may be flat, I'd hate to see them when they're at their best, especially if I was wearing an opposite color sweater.
Fitzpatrick over to the far side. Laxgang back over to Brown, rather. Sean Brown. Fed it over to the far near side. Link on the give and go, and Link couldn't connect with the pass. Dumped and cleared out of there. Laxgang. Loritzen deflected it into the zone. LeVar, the big slapper, the save by Fouts up on the shoulder. Bumped off the puck. Jiske bumped a second time, and LeVar comes up with it. John LeVar on the near side. LeVar, and they're holding each other down over there. Literally grabbing each other down to the ice. Dave Labuda over there to tell him to break it up. Loritzen out to Fitzpatrick, retreated into the corner, picked up by Eric Loritzen. Now Loritzen, Sean Brown, Fitzpatrick out to Laxgang at the point. The shot ran into traffic, and John Turner dumps and clears.
Loyola had a great chance on a feed, cross-ice feed from Brown as he attempted to go to Link, and the pass just jumped over his stick. A nice look from Brown going for the back door there.
Van Scoy overskated a puck. Mike Van Scoy, and now a whistle and a penalty, I think, being called here for too many men on the ice against Loyola. Loyola penalty, bench minor, too many men on the ice. Time of the penalty, 6:40.
Darren Thomas, the linesman, apparently called that one. Apparently picked up six players in white on the ice at one time.
Yeah, it was Sean Brown that tried to sneak off the ice behind him. Bench minor on the part of the Ramblers. Too many men on the ice. 6:40 to play in the game. 22 seconds left on the Jasper minor. And now full 2 minutes.
The Loyola crowd now trying to light that fire underneath their Ramblers, who are down by 4. And after 22 seconds, the Scouts of Lake Forest will end up going on yet another power play. The power play which has been extremely deadly, already accounting for 2 of the 5 goals for Lake Forest.
Well, not really, because they still have a while to go yet. They've still got 15 seconds or so to kill a penalty here. Loritzen, the shot, the save. Neiman, good save through the traffic, kind of partially screened or screened out high. Now to the near side. At the blue line. And they battle for it at center ice. Now squirted out of there. Here comes Van Scoy with a big boomer. The shot, the save. They all got his own rebound, a whistle. We got a penalty coming up for tripping. looks like a second minor on Loyola. That it is. Loyola with a double minor.
Loyola's going to find themselves.
Got a second minor down. They're 2. Gee, I wonder if they're going to put on the stacked line.
Lake Forest now has a 2-man advantage for the next minute 27, and that stacked line, you can bet your last dollar is out there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Berrettini, Van Scoy.
Oh yeah.
I believe that's Jasper on the near side, and Loritzen.
And we had some stuff thrown out, I think maybe from the crowd.
I didn't know you did crowd control.
Not only do I do crowd control, but I go run and talk to the crowd between the periods when there's only 30 seconds.
I'm not used to that kind of consorting.
Out to the high slot. That's Scott Dean. Scott Dean looks to center it over to the far side now. Van Scoy back out to Dean. Dean from the high slot ran it up by Rappel. Dean over here to the near side. Now the shot by Jasper, and that boomed wide. And Mike Van Scoy will have to retreat to his own red line, and now brings it back up the ice. Had a retreat out of the zone was what I meant to say. Berrettini, and dumped out of there again. And down into the zone. Lax gang, and he's bumped and dumped by Jasper. Berrettini to Loritzen. Back to Berrettini. Berrettini from the slot takes the shot and goal! Ezio Berrettini from the slot wraps it home.
Well, Ezio Berrettini showing all the signs of a player who's been playing a higher grade of hockey for a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, Berrettini, a freshman, Berrettini came over the line and he faked the shot, which brought the defenseman Link down to the ice. And once Link was down and out of the play, that meant the goaltender went with him. Berrettini made no mistake putting in a snapshot just inside the far post, making it 6-1, and that spells the end of the night for goaltender Matt Neiman.
Yeah, Brian Meehan now in goal for the... Yeah. Oh, yeah, Meehan and Neiman. It can really confuse you. Try to say that a couple of times fast. Get them right. Brian Meehan now in goal for the Loyola Ramblers. Fitzpatrick, the long shot, the save by Fouts. Back behind the net over here to the near side, back over to the far side. O'Malley, Sean O'Malley for Loyola, back behind the Lake Forest net, now busted away. Perrin Riley dumps it out to center ice. LeVar had it briefly, now dumped into the zone to the near side. Cooper to the far side, dumped and cleared all the way down. They'll wash off the icing. Of course, it wouldn't be anyway because they're still down one man after the goal. They washed out one of the penalties, but there's still another one to be served. Over here to the near side, Jasper back behind the net. Riley dumps it ahead for Peterson. Peterson over here to the near side, Vahey back over for Peterson. Peterson shot ran into traffic. The shot just trickled a little wide to the far side. Now the short shot, the save, the rebound shot, and the whistle stops play. And we have two incidents going on, a little pushing and shoving going on after the play in the corner. Peterson and LeVar.
Well, Peterson's been mixing it up with anybody in a white sweater tonight. I don't understand the tactic there, being up by 5 goals. He's already gone after Link.
And this time he's going to get the minor, I think. We might get coincidental minors, but I know Peterson's definitely going to get one for roughing.
I don't believe, in all honesty, I don't think LeVar ought to go. I think LeVar did his best to just kind of stay away from him, but then again...
No, he skated back over there to the corner.
Well, then there you go. That's why he's out.
Yeah. See,
there's more to this game. You see, I'm out of practice, I guess.
Hey, Mike, we only have 4 sets of eyes. What do you want? Plus, I'm 4-eyed.
No, then we have 6 because I'm wearing contacts.
Oh, okay. No, is that 8? 1, 2, 3,
4 and 4. Oh, that's
8.
8, and then him, and then our cameraman
Scott,
got 2.
two.
He's giving us the 2. I got 10 eyes out here. Ouch.
And we still blew it.
Still blew it, yeah. Offsetting liners to Peterson and LeVar. So we'll be skating 5-on-5.
Whistle stops play right now. Offside on the part of the Lake Forest Scouts.
I'm sorry, we'll be skating 4-on-4. I forget, in amateur there is no Edmonton rule. The Edmonton rule does not apply to amateur hockey.
Aha. We had a little problem over there. I thought that crowd was a little bit large for what Lake Forest usually brought out. It was Loyola kids hiding in the Lake Forest crowd. Here's Mike Vanskoy. Vanskoy brings it up the ice. I've never known the Lake Forest kids that cause any trouble yet. Jasper into Laritza and the shot. Oh, and the save, I think. Meehan got a piece of it. Back out to center ice. Into the zone, Whittakin. Whittakin bumped twice. Scott Dean went down, dumped and cleared out of there by Laritza. Waxgang. The pass attempt was bumped around a little bit. Scott Dean and Jasper. Laritza, Vanskoy over here to the near side. Scott Dean. Scott Dean with Loicano, the forechecker, and dumped and cleared out of there and all the way down. It won't be icing, and it'll never make it. Now dumped and cleared, and this time it is going to be icing, I think. No, that one didn't make it either, Loicano. Now we got a penalty coming up on Scott Dean. The whistle on the stop of the play, and Scott Dean going to get a minor for roughing.
Now Dean did come up high on the Loyola forward, Loicano. He got his gloves up near the Loyola forward's face. And that, in any rule book, is a rough, and that's what they'll go for. With 2:56 remaining here in the second period, Lake Forest up by 5. The score is 6-1. Lake Forest could really put the nail in the coffin by just continuing to pepper the Loyola goal, considering the fresh goaltender in there.
Well, I think at this point all they want to do is really keep it down in the Loyola end. They've got him on the ropes, and just keep on punching it in. Keep it in that zone. Keep it deep. Keep it out of harm's way. Now with the penalty, why, just keep it out of the zone.
Loyola has been ineffective in keeping pressure on the Scouts, and they have a power play now, 4-on-3.
Dumped and cleared all the way down. Didn't get it all the way down. Got it to the blue line. Cooper. Link dumps it into the zone. Fouts shoots it over to the corner. Now out to the point. Cooper. Out to Rappel. Back to Cooper. And some pushing and shoving going on in the slot. Nothing called. Royster dumped it over here to the near side. Link. Give it over to Cooper. They shot the pad save. Ezio Berrettini comes up with it. Berrettini dumps and clears. Those first coincidental minors are going to come to an end, and LeVar and Peterson now going to come out of there. And each team will be down, and now Loyola, or Lake Forest, Lake Forest will be down 1. Over here to Brian Rappel. Now Royster got it out to the point. Here's LeVar. They shot the save. And now Clampton held to the ice, and we got a penalty coming up. Labuda and Rappel and Royster are pushing and shoving, but we do have a penalty coming up. I think it is on.
I don't know who.
I think it is on Royster or Berrettini. Well, we'll see here. Somebody from Lake Forest, I believe.
Neither door is open, and it's the Lake Forest door, so it will be a Lake Forest.
Jiske, Mike Jiske, a minor for hooking. At 1:57 left to play here in the second period.
Well, this is the time that Loyola needs to capitalize on this advantage. A 5-on-3, just under 2 minutes to play on the clock.
I think what's happening here, we might be seeing here, is that now that Lake Forest has them up by 5, they might be trying to throw their weight around a little bit, and they're just getting up a little high, and they're just doing just a little bit. They need to do just a little bit of fine-tuning in the method and the way that they're hitting. to stay out of the penalty box here. But I think really what they're doing is as long as they're, so to speak, beating up on him on the score, they're trying maybe to do a little bit extra physically here and make this a little more physical beating up of the Ramblers.
If the Ramblers are to get into this game, they're going to need to punch in a couple of quick goals.
Fitzpatrick over to the far side. Laxgang shot a goal! Tom Laxgang with the slapper from the left wing.
Well, that goal could be pretty big right there. The slap shot by Laxgang, beating Fouts between the legs, and now the crowd getting involved, and considering the late score here by Laxgang, one rule of thumb that I learned: any time a team scores in the first or last minute of any period, it proves to be demoralizing to the team getting scored upon.
Well, I don't think necessarily that's the case. I think it's more a case of whether or not you're ready to play, you know, in the third period, whether you got your legs still, particularly between these two teams.
Well, right now we're only in the second period, and I'm willing to bet you that Loyola is going to be a little bit quicker to the puck, a little
fired up, yeah. Brown out to the point. Link, the shot dribbles wide to the far side. Now Fitzpatrick, the deflection attempt by Laxgang, misconnection. Now picked up by Van Scoyen. As he touches it, the net moved. Laritzen and Mike Fitzpatrick having a little to do, and they kind of pushed the net off as they were trying to get position over there on the far side. 1:24 to play in a period, and before the period's over, Scott Dean will be able to come out. He's still got a couple of seconds left on that minor. He's still got to sit in the penalty box, even though it's not up on the clock.
Now his time was taken down as a result of that power play goal. And boy, did Laxgang hum that thing into the net. He just put his head down and buried it. That was in and out fashion.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen a couple this year. We saw one up at the Lake Forest Glenbrook North game with Scott Deany let one loose. And that goalie still hasn't seen that puck. And this one was just like that. It's just a wicked shot, wasn't it? Over here to the near side, Laxgang again, and he's bumped by Jiske into the zone. Jiske backhands it out, then got bumped from behind. Nothing called. Laxgang brings it back into zone. The shot, and I think Faust just got a piece of it and just managed to get it to the outside. Dribbles into the slot. Now it's free. Shot a goal! Tom Laxgang! Tom Laxgang with the goal, and we're up to 6-3.
Say I told you so, but I told you so.
Well,
power play goals by Laxgang, and this one coming just with 50 seconds left in the period. And just as quickly as Lake Forest takes two penalties, Loyola is there to capitalize on the power play, and it's going to be an interesting third period, considering that now Loyola finds themselves down only by 3 as opposed to 5. That's a big goal right there by Laxgang, a big 2 goals by Laxgang.
And both of them power play, which kind of tells you something about what Lake Forest has to do. They got to stay out of the penalty box from here on out. Over here on the near side, Turner dumps it into the zone. Plunkett tried to backhand it out. Turner came up with it into the slot, busted away. Now Turner in turn, and he's pushed down. Turner got a weak shot. Peterson got the shot away. The puck squirts out, and here come the Loyola Ramblers. And now the whistle stops play. Peterson in the slot, tangled up with Neiman.
No, now it's Meehan.
Neiman. I'm gonna be doing that all night long.
Well, once again, Peterson.
I'm glad you're here. I would have been calling him the wrong one all night long.
Peterson finds himself in the crease with the Loyola goaltender again, and I don't think they're discussing plans after the game. This is not unusual in this game for Peterson to find himself tangled up with the Loyola goaltender.
No, it is certainly not. We have a whistle. We have an offside on the face-off over here on the near side. 2 accomplices. Here they are sneaking in again. Picked up by the Ramblers, dumped into the zone.
Us boys are always like that, cheating on the draws, you know.
Jasper over here to the near side and out to the blue line. Plunkett to the far side. Cooper dumped into the zone, and that's going to do it for the period. Over to the far side, Blum, Cooper, and the horn sounds at the end of the second period of play. The score, the Lake Forest Scouts 6 and the Loyola Ramblers 3. We'll be back with the third period in just a moment. You're having a ball at this one, aren't you?
Oh, this is great hockey. You can't beat it. The atmosphere with the crowd, the play of the two teams on the ice, and as evidenced by the ending of that second period with Loyola getting 2 power play goals, my bet is that Loyola comes out hot and heavy in the first couple of minutes here.
I notice now they've matched those 2 lines together. We said it'd be a surprise if they did, and they've done it.
They're going to fight fire with fire, I guess.
Jasper, now Loicano for Loyola, back behind the net. Over here to the near side. Loicano dumped it deep to the corner. Loritzen and Brown squirted out to Loicano. The dribble, shot, a goal! John LeVar with the goal from the right wing. Got the, I think it was an initial shot, and the rebound went right to LeVar, and he had a sprawled Fouts, and all he had to do was dribble it home.
Well, number 19, Loicano, picked up the puck on a broken play in the corner. He walked it out, tried to get a shot on net, and kind of rolled off the end of his stick. But as Fouts did a splits trying to block the attempt, it rolled right onto the stick of LeVar, who made no mistake. He buried it. That's a big goal. Loyola down by 2 now.
Over to Fitzpatrick. Now dumped ahead. Halecki brought it up for Lake Forest on his backhand, dumps it into the zone, back behind the goal line. Turner and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick now comes up with it. Mike Fitzpatrick. And it looks like Lake Forest going to let him bring it out of the zone a little bit. Back down into the Lake Forest end. Jasper pushes the man off the puck, back behind the net, over to the far side. And battle for there. Leahy now picked away, dumped and cleared out of there and all the way down. And I think this is going to be icing against Lake Forest. And it is.
Well, Loyola looks rejuvenated. Those 2 goals, I'm still sticking by my guns, Mark. Those 2 goals that Loyola scored at the end of the period, that was the fire that was lit underneath them. That put the wind back into their sails. And then the goal in the first 23 seconds scored by LeVar has put some renewed life into this team. I have a feeling that it's a gut feeling, and I don't want to put a jinx on anybody, but Loyola is just, I don't think anybody can stop right now. They're applying tremendous pressure to the Scouts.
And now the play resumes over here on the near side. Dumped and cleared out to center ice. Plunkett tried to feed it back to the blue line. Now picked away. Here come the Lake Forest Scouts into the zone. Van Scoy, Scott Dean. Scott Dean controls. Dean being bothered, still controls. Scott Dean, it shoots and scores! Oh, man! That's the strength of Scott Dean. 3 men on him, and he still controlled it and brought it home.
Well, Scott Dean, if he could carry a piano on his back, it was just the same feeling, I guess, with 3 players on him. Tremendous strength, tremendous hands, and tremendous concentration shown by Scott Dean, one of the captains of this Lake Forest squad. He got around 3 players, fought off all 3 of the checks, got off the shot, reinstating the 3-goal lead for Lake Forest.
That was also a good play by Van Scoy, dumping it back behind that net, being bothered there by the defenseman Plunkett. Now back down into the Loyola end. Sean Brown over here to the near side and dump right back in. Cooper. Brian Cooper to the far side, out to Sean Brown. Sean Brown to the near side, Loicano. Loicano dumps and shoots it in. Fouts leaves it there on the side of the net. Jiski dumps it over here to the near side. Scott Dean. Scott Dean up ahead for Mike Van Scoy. He dumped it in and then got blindsided a little bit by Loicano. Van Scoy with Berrettini up in the slot. Now Blum in there with him. Shot in the save through traffic. Shot by Van Scoy. The save by Meehan. And now I thought that puck, didn't that puck hit somebody up there?
It looked like it hit Van Scoy right in the midsection, but I guess it got through him.
Oh, I thought it hit one of the Loyola players in the bench.
Oh, no, that stayed in the ring. I'm almost positive it stayed in the ring there.
Wax gang along the near side. Dumped into the zone. Here is Turner, dumped out. And dumped right back in by Cooper. Over for Peterson. Peterson dropped it, nobody there. And now the whistle offside anyway against Loyola. And the whistle stops play. 11:05 left to play in a period.
There you get a shot of Lake Forest goaltender Brendan Fouts. He's played well, and as Loyola has mounted a lot of pressure on this Lake Forest squad, I still want to say Loyola's got the momentum, but I have a feeling now that goal scored by Scott Dean
deflated the sails.
Deflated the sails once again.
Well,
just has to keep putting their nose to the grindstone and keep grinding it out with them.
Just so you know how this is going to work now, the winner of this game will advance against the winner of the second place team coming out of the West Division, which will probably be either Addison Trail or York, and the number 2 team, the team that loses, will play against probably, I believe that should be Leiden out of the Central Division in the quarterfinals. The semifinals will have that number 1 team playing at Evanston on March 7th, and the winner of that number 2 game playing again in the Polar Dome on March 7th. Now here's Peterson. He took the shot, the save, the puck started to dribble back, went off Blum's skate, I think. Probably wouldn't have been a goal anyway. I think it might have, Labuda probably would have called it as being kicked in, but it sort of ricocheted back towards the goal.
Well, if that one would have crossed the line and Labuda would have waved it off, I have a feeling a Lake Forest bench would have been quite unhappy. And that looked kind of questionable. It would have been a very questionable call, but nonetheless, Meehan had the presence of mind to throw the glove over it and prevent any such controversy.
Yeah, well, it sort of ricocheted back to him a little bit further away, and I don't think he would have had it. And we're ready again for the drop. And the drop, kicked out to the point. Now busted away by the Ramblers. Rappel dumps it all the way down. That's going to be icing against Loyola. And we'll move it back. In the state games, just so our viewers are aware, the state games for both Loyola and Lake Forest have been changed. Officially on the schedule, it is listed as Wednesday, March 7th. That can't be because, of course, we have the semifinal. We have the semifinal of Metro that night. So they have switched those games. They will be Thursday, March 8th. Thursday, March 8th, Loyola will play the winner of the New Trier Blue St. Charles game, and Lake Forest will play the winner of the St. Lawrence Maine South game. That's March 8th, the first round, the playdown round of the state tournament. And we will be there for both those games. Van Scoy shot, the save, up on the body. Oh, man, I thought he had that up over him. It sure looked like it was going to go there, and Meehan had just sort of laid there on his chest.
Well, that was a brilliant save there by Meehan. As Van Scoy cut to the slot, he took a backhander that was going the other way, so to speak. Meehan moving to his left, the shot going to his right. Meehan caught a break as the puck hit the shaft of his stick and then trickled underneath his arm. And as he fell to the ice, caught a break as he covered it up. But Van Scoy proving once again how deadly he is right around the net for Lake Forest.
Ready for the drop, offside on the face-off, Loicano. Down goes Van Scoy. The short shot by Berrettini went off the side of the net. Over here to the near side, now John LeVar. LeVar fed up ahead for Sean Brown, underled him. Jasper back into the zone. Got it in the zone and then was pushed down by Sean Brown. John LeVar controls in his own zone. Loicano. Mike Loicano brings it up the ice. Loicano dumps it into the zone and then knocked down at the blue line and dumped right out by the scouts. LeVar dumps it to the far side, got it into the zone and dumped right back out by the Lake Forest scouts. Todd Link back to the blue line and deflected off Halecki right into the Loyola bench. 9:14 to play in the period.
Well, the hockey being shown in the last couple of seconds here, not indicative at all of the way these two teams have been skating all night. Last couple of shifts would look a little lethargic, as opposed to the up and down and grinded out style they've been playing all night.
Well, we're ready for the drop. Whittakin will face off with Scott Dean. Dean with 2 goals tonight. Over here to the near side. Gustafson fed it ahead and dumped into the zone. Back goes Cooper with Turner to the far side and dumped and cleared out of there. And that's going to be icing, and icing again against the Loyola Ramblers.
Loyola just content to throw the puck out of the zone right now, and that strategy is not sitting well in my mind, at least. I would, if I were the coach, you could say that about just about any team that you watch, but if I were the coach, the #1 priority right now is to score and score lots. Down by 3 goals, and right now it's not Lake Forest that's their opponent. Right now it's the clock. Just under 9 minutes to play, and the way Lake Forest has been protecting their net and grinding out and getting offensive chances, scoring 3 goals may seem like a very uphill battle.
Turner tried to center it. Grispo tried to get at it. Now over here on the near side, Scott Dean. Dean dipsy-doodled around the man, couldn't come up with the puck though. Whittakin and Dean and Grispo, and that's not Grispo, that's Turner. And Cooper and Dean and Whittakin push each other. The puck's still free. Now brought out to the slot, and here comes Fitzpatrick. And Whittakin and Dean got their lumber up a little bit. Nothing called. Right into the slot. Busted up, shot, save. I think Chris Fenner got that one away. And now it's underneath Fenner, and the whistle stops play. 8:11 to play in a period.
Well, Scott Dean in that last exchange in the Loyola end just showing just how strong he is. As the puck was tied up along the boards, Dean trying to pry it out of there, began throwing Loyola players around like rag dolls. Scott Dean showing a lot of the physical attributes that he possesses.
Yeah, he also gave, both of them got their sticks up. Dave Labuda was right there, and I guess because they both got their sticks up, he decided to let it go. Each one got the other guy, and that was the end of it.
Heard about fair play at the end.
Yeah, sometimes the referees call it when it's lopsided, when you get somebody like, like a big heavy moose, like Rob Woodward used to do, and he'd hit one of those little freshmen that were out there with some of the weaker teams, and they'd get the penalty. Heavy check along the near sides, and now into the Loyola end. Plunkett deflected away from him by Van Scoy. Over to O'Malley. Jasper took a run at him. The puck squirts out, and Laxgang, a long shot. Fouts had to turn around to keep it out of the slot. Now picked up by Gustafson. Out to center ice. Rappel dumped it in, and now out of the rink into the Lake Forest bench. Hit Jack Tompkins, the assistant coach down there. Smile, Jack. You're on candid camera. Jack, you can smile a little bit every once in a while.
Honestly, he's got a 3-goal lead.
7:38 left to play in the period.
That clearing attempt by Rappel, just jumping over the boards. And Loyola needs to kickstart that engine again and get him rolling again. Boy, that's a nice hat there. Isn't that a nice hat?
The Cowboy, Bob Hildreth. The drop, the draw. Loicano ran it up into Lauritsen's stick. LeVar in the corner. LeVar and Lauritsen, and I don't know who that other guy was. Berrettini that came in there. Now busted away. LeVar flicks it over behind the net. Jasper dumped it back over to the near side. Now the wraparound, the little wraparound shovel shot by LeVar was stopped. Out come the Lake Forest Scouts. Halecki flicked off his stick by Link. Now the two pair of 11s tie each other up. Back down into the zone. Lauritsen and Loicano. Loicano tried to center it. Lauritsen tied it up. And boy, did they tie up. Over here on the near side, they're still down on the ice. And the whistle stops. And the two of them, Loicano and Lauritsen, and they're holding each other there. That might just be player entanglement. We saw one of those earlier in the season. And they're a penalty.
Penalty call. I saw Labuda have his hand raised in the air.
Lauritsen for holding.
Lauritsen is going to go.
Eric Lauritsen, a minor for holding. And if you want to hold, you better make sure that you hold before everybody, so everyone can see you hold.
Well, Lauritzen was all over him like a cheap suit. If you pardon the old.
Oh,
I know that's bad, but he was all over him.
Well, at least we got our cameraman to smile and laugh on that one. Scott Niskern at the camera tonight. All year long, I've kind of neglected Scott. Usually I mention him in each game, and this year I haven't been doing that. I've been so excited in the games. So I did want to thank Scott and all the work he's done for us this year. He has certainly done yeoman's service. And we're ready for the face-off coming up. There's the drop. The draw won by the Lake Forest Scouts. That's Jiske. Jiske dumps it out and ran it into Berrettini, his own man. Laxgang still controls the backhand shot, a goal! Laxgang, the hat trick. Tom Laxgang with the hat trick at 6:40, and it's 7-5.
Well, that's Laxgang's third goal. It's also Laxgang's third goal on the power play. Laxgang is the scout killer when they have the man advantage for the Ramblers. And now the contingent for Loyola getting back in this game. And it's unfortunate. I hate to say something like this, Mark, but right now I wish I was down on the ice in one of these games because the environment, the atmosphere, the 2-goal differential, it's all the makings of great quality hockey.
Scott Dean had it briefly, now dumped in by Plunkett as we're back to the action. Jiske over to the far side. Jasper ahead for Turner. Laxgang dumps it into the zone. Jasper dumps it right back out. Laxgang will have to retreat to his own blue line to control it. Over here to the near side, Leahy, and he missed it, and Dean and Leahy, down they go. The puck underneath them, I think. No, Bus squirted free a little bit. Jiske gave it back Turner. Turner over here on the near side. And now Leahy, then dumped into the Loyola zone. We have a whistle. Lake Forest zone. We have a whistle and a penalty coming up. Looks like Scott Dean. I think they're sending coincidental minors. Scott Dean and Steffo, minors for holding, one for holding and one for interference. I'm not sure who got which one, though.
Well, both players got tangled up along the near side, just around the Lake Forest blue line. And you could see Scott Dean put his glove in the back of the head of Steffo, threw him to the ice. Steffo saying, "What did I do?" But
I think it might have been, he might have gotten the holding, and then Dean got the interference because the puck had already gone away.
But the problem with both of those players is that they did that right in front of Labuda. That made no sense. If you're going to do something, try and do it when he's not looking, but he was right on top of it.
Well, that, you know, it's, when you get involved in a heated game, sometimes you don't turn around and look for that stripe.
True, very true.
Back behind the net. Jasper on the near side. Jasper brings it up the ice. Jasper into the zone. The long shot just a little wide, and Meehan didn't react to it. I don't know if he saw it going wide or if he just never saw it. Vanskoy right into the slot. Vanskoy shot the save. Oh, how did he ever save that one?
What a great stop by Meehan, but an equally terrific shot by Mike Vanskoy. That puck jumped straight up in the air and then bounced around on him. Vanskoy picked it out of midair, and the goaltender Meehan for Loyola came up brilliant, trapping the puck between the leg pad and his catch glove. A brilliant save by Meehan, stopping Vanskoy from the deadliest spot on the ice, right at the hash marks between the rings. 5:36 remaining, third period. Face off deep in Loyola territory. Loyola's got to win this one.
The draw won by the Ramblers. That's Laxgang behind his own net. Turner, the forechecker. Over to the far side, Sean Brown. Sean Brown ahead for Laxgang. Laxgang bumped off the puck. And down deep in the corner, that is Jasper back behind the net. Hand pass, but it'll go to a Loyola Rambler, washing off the stoppage of play. Right into the slot, busted away by the Scouts, and Jasper dumped it in. Down goes Vanskoy, nothing called. Shouldn't have been anyway. Good play by Fitzpatrick. Sean Brown up ahead. Brown takes the long shot, and a goal! Laxgang is fourth! How did he ever get a hold of that?
Beautiful play by Loyola. Laxgang went busting for the net. The Loyola forward sent it to him. I believe it was Lycano. And Laxgang, all he had to do was get a stick on it, put it on net, and that's what he did. Laxgang outraced the defenseman, and that's his 4th goal. An even strength goal for us, which is kind of odd. He's got 3 of them on the power play. But Laxgang got a piece, tipping it over.
It's 7-6 now, right?
Over Futz, and that makes it 7-6 by my count. That's right, it should be 7-6. And the scoreboard says 7-4.
All right, well, they'll fix it when we get there. 7-6, 4:55 to play in the period.
Now the Loyola fans yelling for scoreboard, yelling at the scoreboard operators.
Well, Plunkett over for Whittaken. Back into the zone, Royster. Royster up and now linked, short shot, wide. Over here to the near side. Plunkett deep into the corner. Now Loicano tried to center it, did so. Busted up now by the Ramblers. The Ramblers applying a lot of pressure here. We're equal on the ice. Into the corner. Link. Busted away by Jiski. Jiski will dump it and clear it out of there. They're going to wash off the icing. Plunkett never did get there. To the near side, Loicano. Loicano dumps it in, brought it into the zone. Loicano, the wraparound shot, the save, and Fouts clamps it down to the ice with Plunkett in there tight. The penalties are over. Teams are back at full and equal strength.
Both of these teams charged up. Only a 1-goal difference, regardless of what the scoreboard says.
3:57 to play, 7-6 the score.
What a hockey game.
Oh, man, yeah, isn't it?
What a game.
And I'll tell you something, don't blame the guys on the scoreboard. They're the Loyola guys.
I don't know how you do it, Mark. I'm working on my 3rd Diet Coke. You haven't even touched yours.
You got to know how to do these things. Yes.
I guess I'm out of practice.
No, that way I get to sound like the other hockey announcers. Shot, ooh, wide, but Rappel got it away from the high slot. You know, I get that gravelly voice. The shot by Scott Dean ran into Cooper's leg, and he's hurting a little bit. Vanskoy with Cooper. Scott Dean. Dean came up with it. Dean still powering it. Now Sean Brown, Scott Dean out to the point. Into the slot. Ricochets around a little bit. Comes to Scott Dean. Shot, the save. In close. Dean and Sean Brown in the corner. Berrettini out to the slot. Out to the point, rather the long shot. The save by Meehan through traffic. To the near side. A whistle and a stoppage of play.
And Meehan came up big on the knuckleball shot from the point, and then made the next stop on a shot from the near side. Made the glove save and held on. 3:07 remained in the 3rd period, and I'm having a hard time hearing myself think.
Well, that's the way it sometimes is. You know, you get the crowd start yelling and cheering and screaming, and it makes for a wonderful hockey game, you know. That's part of the old thing, you know, when what's better, play in a place like Chicago Stadium and have 2,000 people there, or have 2,000 people in a stands of seats 2,000. You know, which one's better?
Oh, I'd rather play with a tight-in crowd. I mean, sure, it's great to skate at the stadium, I'd imagine, but when you're in this close, everybody's right on top of the action. It's great hockey. It's a great atmosphere.
Sean Brown. Brown up and knocked down by Vanskoy. Plunkett down he goes. Berrettini brought it in to Scott Dean. The shot, a goal! Oh, man, what a slapper. Oh, Scott Dean, the hat trick.
What a slap shot by Scott Dean. Walked over the line, got around the check, put his head down and buried it. He didn't put that one in the top corner. He blew it through the goaltender, Meehan, as it got a piece of Meehan's arm. And Meehan just barely got a touch of it before it popped the twine in the back of the net. 8-6 now in favor of Lake Forest with 2:49 remaining 3rd period. That was a tremendous slap shot, Mark.
Oh, man.
They don't fire him any harder than that.
And now Scott Dean with the hat trick. That's Dean with the hat trick and Laxgang with 4. And I'll tell you something, those two guys are really putting on a show tonight.
Well, the crowd's sure getting their money's worth. That's for sure.
I'm not sure what the problem is here starting to play.
Problem after the goal with Berrettini. He was kind of jawing with the Loyola crowd, kind of goading them, and one of the Loyola players, I believe, knocked him down, but that was as far as it went. Berrettini off to the bench now, and I think Labuda has just instructed both teams that's where that's going to end. That's the last incident he wants to see of that.
Yeah, I noticed now that the part of the problem was that the Loyola fans were up on the glass down here in front of us, and now they moved them back into the crowd. Whittakin busted away, dumped and cleared out of there. All the way down, they'll wash off the icing. Meehan will have to make the save. To the corner, Peterson. Danny Peterson bumped by Link. Turner, and he's swept off the puck by Whittakin. Halecki out to the point. The long shot by Jasper wide. And boy, talk about muggings going on out in that slot. Oh, man. Turner in the corner.
Boy, if these guys had $5 on them before they came into this game, everybody's broke now, and somebody's walking off rich.
There's a long shot, and we have a penalty coming up on Lake Forest. Now touched by Peterson, and Peterson gave a little extra push in there to Whittakin, and if
has any brains, he'll step out of there. He knows there's a penalty on Lake Forest. He should just let it be. Let it go, get the man advantage. There's only 1:58 left in the game. Try and get that power play goal, and then in favor of the extra attacker, pull the goaltender.
Well, you know something? If I were Lake Forest at this stage of the game, I would just dump it. Just keep on dumping it. You already got the man, and you're down the man. Just make them work. Just keep on making them work. Just dump it out of there.
Well, my bet is that the Loyola goaltender doesn't pull, at least for the first half of the power play. And then at about 1 minute remaining in the period, I'm assuming that they're going to pull him in favor of the extra attacker, making it 6-on-4.
They may not, because they may not realize the importance of moving 1 or 2 out of the division, or they may not care. So they may leave that man in there. That could be a possibility here.
Now, also, see, the way I'm interpreting this game is I don't know whether I'd want to be number 1 or number 2 going out. The early line on the Central Division is I'd rather play them to advance. And that's coming from myself, who.
We were talking before the game, and I said precisely the same thing. I think I'd rather play Leiden in that first game than
my alma mater. But if I were one of these two teams, to me that's a walk in the park.
On the near side, don't skate it, just dump it, guys. I don't know why Lake Forest is trying to skate it and looking for more goals. Yeah, just Berrettini dumped it in. Link. Berrettini going to be moderate high. Up for LeVar. LeVar now picked away by Scott Dean. Scott Dean all by himself. Dean now with Brown in front of him. The shot and the save by Meehan. Good glove save on a good shot by Dean, but I think it probably would have gone a little high. Laxgang brings it up. The Laxgang Scott Dean show tonight. Link, the shot, but ran into traffic out front. I think it ran off Berrettini. Now up ahead and swept into the Loyola end. Now Loyola has pulled their goaltender for that extra attacker. 1 minute now left to play in the game. The long shot, the save by Fouts, and as the Loyola players skate in, the whistle stops play. 59 seconds left to play in this one. And boy, Mike, now you've had a chance to see a barn burner from Metro North. A lot different than watching that junk you watched out in the Central Division, wasn't it?
Well, let's just say that I would enjoy calling a game like this more often than I would a sleeper, say a 13-0 blowout of Gordon Tech, let's say.
Hey, now I want to know, didn't I invite you?
Oh, this is beautiful.
A year ago, 2 years ago, for you to come out and do this? I said
it was the championship game. That was it. I haven't heard from you since.
That's right. Well, I suppose that's true. Long shot, dribble. No, went wide. Cooper. Those are ones you can start reading the Cooper label. Made in Czechoslovakia. Rappel over to the far side. LeVar dumped it back out to center ice by himself. 8-6 the score. Lax gang over here to Cooper. The long shot, the pad save. Scott Dean right through the slot, through Lax Gang's legs to the shot, to the point, and the shot. Blah, blah, blah. These 10-cent store dentures, they don't work by the end of the night. The short shot, the pad save. Now here's Berrettini flipping it up ahead. Berrettini gave it over here to the near side, Scott Dean. Dean's shot actually went off Van Scoy. Now out to center ice and cleared out of there. And that'll do it. 2-1, and it's over. The Lake Forest Scouts have upset the Loyola Ramblers. Final score,
8-6.
Lake Forest 8, and the Loyola Ramblers